When you put them all together, they're all pretty colors, right? Hey there, welcome to Venture with Jazzy. On this channel, I talk about credit cards and personal finance. And today I have a special video for you where I'm going to be going over what's in my wallet. And this is actually my wallet, so it's pretty small. And as you can see, there's not many cards that can fit. But with the help of Apple Pay, I'm able to keep about 10 more cards virtually on my phone. Now, before we get into the video, I do want to kind of lay out the structure. So I want to talk about how I kind of got into my credit card journey, what were my first credit cards, and then I'm going to go over the no annual fee cards that I own, and then of course the annual fee cards, some interesting cards, and then also I do have a couple cards that I ended up downgrading or canceling. And then another thing to note is that some of these cards are under my husband's name, but he's my other half and we share our expenses. I also take advantage of the perks on his cards, so I think it's safe to say that they are also my credit cards too. Now, to talk about my credit card journey, I got my first credit card when I was 15 years old. This is because I was going to a high school that was in another state from my parents, and it was kind of hard to do the whole money thing. And then we decided, okay, it's time for you to get a credit card. Now, of course, people who are 15, you can't actually get your own credit card. So my dad put me as his authorized user. And these are actually my first two credit cards. So they're from Bank of America. Nothing interesting about them. At least it got me to easily pay for my expenses. And then, of course, later on, I did end up getting a debit card, which I actually still use this card, and it has my photo when I was 14 years old, which it's kind of crazy. And then after some time of owning these three cards, so my two credit cards and then my debit card, my dad decided that it was time for me to get a USAA credit card. So this credit card actually does have a little bit of a perk, 1% cash back, and I was super excited when I got this card actually because I never knew that credit cards had cash back. I thought, oh, I'm the only one who has cash back among all my friends, so I wanted to pay for all of their purchases and then get that cash back, and they would Venmo me back later. But I was so excited, but really didn't know anything about the whole world of credit cards and what types of perks they could offer. So that was like my starting journey of getting into credit cards. But of course, I ended up getting more than 10 more cards, and that was after I turned 23. So when I was 23, that's when I met my husband, and then he introduced me into credit cards and all the perks, and I was just like, wow, I didn't know credit cards can offer so many benefits. And that's kind of where I got started and how I started to make this YouTube channel as well. So now moving on to what's actually in my wallet. So this is my wallet. Of course, it has my driver's license that is from Texas. And then we have my Charles Schwab debit card. So I just talked about this debit card recently in a video, and I really like it because when I go travel, I don't have to worry about which ATM I go to because it just waives all those fees. And then of course I do have a third slot in my wallet, and the card I put in there really varies from time to time. So if the Chase Freedom Flex, if there's like the grocery 5% back category, that's when I would definitely carry that card with me because my local grocery store does not accept Apple Pay. But yeah, the card that I hold generally just varies from time to time. And then the next thing that I also carry with me that's kind of like my wallet is this little pouch, and this is where all my cash goes. And sometimes I do put credit cards in here when I know I need to carry them with me. So yeah, that's like what's in my wallet. Just kidding. So we have a lot more credit cards. So next I'm gonna be going over my no annual fee credit cards, and starting off with all of these Chase Freedoms. So between my husband and I, we have 5 Freedom cards, which is kind of crazy, but I'll tell you why in a second. Each of us has the Freedom Unlimited. Each of us has the Freedom Flex, and then my husband has the regular Freedom. So the thing about this Freedom is it's actually discontinued because it's a Visa. So this card works out kind of nice because it works just like the Freedom Flex where it has that rotating category. But that Freedom Flex card, so this one is a MasterCard. Not all places accept MasterCard. This one's a Visa, and that's when we can use this card. So why do we have 5 of these credit cards? Well, for me, my reason is because I wanted to take advantage of both of the sign-up bonuses, and then my husband also did that as well. So he got all 3 of these cards before me, and then he has a third one because originally he did have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, but then he downgraded the card, and that's how we ended up getting 3 Freedom cards. And then the next credit card that we have is the Citi Costco card. So this card is really good because it gives you 3% cash back at any gas station. And then also we need a way to get into Costco. We love Costco, so we got this credit card. So the next credit card that I have is the Bilt MasterCard. I actually got this credit card, I think 4 months ago, and I've actually really been enjoying it. So you can take a nice look at it. I've really been enjoying this card because I can get points on my rent. And so far I've gotten 10,000 points in just 4 months, which I think is pretty cool, honestly, because I'm not really thinking about this card that often. You do have to use this credit card 5 times a month, but I actually didn't find it so much of a hassle, as on the first of every month, I just end up going to the grocery store so I can get double the points, and that's that. And that's how I've been making many more points just by owning this card. So we finished talking about all of the no annual fee credit cards. Now we'll get into the annual fee cards, and a little bit more exciting. So the first one, of course, is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. This is my credit card, and I got this card 2 years ago with a 100,000 point sign up bonus. And that sign up bonus actually got us to Italy for free for our honeymoon. So essentially we've saved kind of like $4,000, which is really nice considering that the annual fee is just $95. Other perks that this card has is every year you get a $50 hotel credit, so that helps to kind of offset the annual fee as well. And then there's just other ways to earn points too. And then of course I do like the transfer partners that Chase has, and then you're able to transfer your points to them, and that has been really helpful for booking more flights or hotels. And then the next credit card we have is the Capital One Venture X credit card. So this credit card is actually owned by my husband, but we have really been enjoying it. So the first thing is that this credit card does have a $395 annual fee, but we found that it's actually really easy to offset the cost. So for one, every year you get $300 worth of travel credit, which is pretty easy to use. And then the second thing is that every 5 years, they are able to waive that TSA PreCheck or global entry fee, which is pretty nice because you're gonna need that if you wanna travel. And then there's more things to mention, like every year they do give you 10,000 extra miles on your credit card anniversary. And then of course, the credit card does give you Priority Pass. So this isn't actually a credit card, but it's just an access card. So sometimes you are able to go into many lounges globally where if you have Priority Pass, you're able to enter it. So we took advantage of that a couple times, like in Taiwan or in San Francisco at the Air France lounge. Oh, then I do want to mention another thing about this Venture X credit card. So you do get Hertz Presidential Circle status, so that's Hertz's highest tier status, and we were able to status match that with Avis. And we did find that the few times where we did need a rental car, Avis just seemed to be a little cheaper, and we were able to upgrade our car every time that we used Avis so far when we had the Avis preferred status. So that's just another great perk about owning this credit card. Now I'm going to be going over the hotel cards. So my husband and I have each hotel card, so we have 2 Hyatts between us and 2 Marriott Bonvoy credit cards. So each of these cards, they give us 1 free night stay every year. And so far, because we owned these Hyatt cards for 2 years now, we were able to use that free hotel stay when we went to Taiwan. We stayed at a Grand Hyatt that was about $300 a night. And considering that these hotel credit cards, they're only $95 in annual fees every every year, we easily saved $400 with just those 2 nights. And then as for these Marriott Bonvoy cards, we got this about 4 months ago, and we were able to take advantage of the 100,000 point sign up bonus. And after next year, we'll be able to get that free night stay. So really excited about owning these hotel credit cards. So those were all the credit cards that I use on a daily basis. And now we're going to be going over some of the cards that we did end up downgrading. So the first credit card that I ended up downgrading is this United Explorer Mileage Plus credit card. So I actually got this credit card before I got married, and it was my first credit card that I ended up paying an annual fee for. Now, I think this card does have plenty of perks, and it's really a good card actually. It just depends on your lifestyle. So some of the perks that this card does offer is you do get a free check bag whenever you fly United, and then it does waive that global entry or TSA pre-check fee every 4 years, which is pretty cool considering that this credit card only has a $95 annual fee. And the reason why I ended up downgrading it to the United Gateway credit card is because I found that I wasn't really flying United. I wasn't really getting a ton of benefit off of that free check bag, so it just made sense to altogether downgrade it. And next we have another credit card that we did end up downgrading. So this is the Delta SkyMiles Platinum American Express card. And I do think this credit card is actually pretty valuable. It just depends on your lifestyle. So for starters, it does have a $250 annual fee, but there's plenty of perks. So one of the perks is every 4 years, they do waive that TSA pre-check or global entry fee. And then another thing is they waive the first check bag on all Delta flights. And then finally, which is I think the biggest reason why a lot of people get the card, every year you do get a free companion pass. So on any flight, which is in the lower 48 of the United States, you can fly with somebody round trip and they don't have to pay. And that's kind of the reason why we did end up downgrading it, because originally we thought we'd be able to use this card to fly to Asia or South America and we'd save a lot of money. However, it doesn't work like that, as you can only fly between the lower 48 of the United States. So unfortunately, we're not really able to go to Hawaii every year with this companion pass. And that's why we ended up downgrading it to this card. And luckily, there is a downgrade path, and this card does not have an annual fee, which is lucky for us. So those are all the credit cards that I have to show for you all today. Maybe in the future I'll have a few more cards and then I'll make another video, who knows. So anyway, if you have any comments or questions about my cards, leave a question in the comments below, and please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.